All right, guys, we're going to start in 2 minutes. All right, good morning, Checkmate crew. It is 10 a.m., 30 minutes after the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange. Today is Thursday, December 1st, 2022. Hope everyone's having a great day. It's Mickey Blindside here with your market memo. Okay, so yesterday, Jerome Powell got on TV and he made a speech at the Brookings Institute. Market took that very positively, and we rallied hard yesterday. And so the theme of the day for yesterday was moderation. That was the key word that seems to be what's on everybody's mind is moderation. So we're already seeing the quote-unquote pivot starting, okay? So I said this back in end of September that the pivot was not necessarily going to be like a rate cut or, just nothing. It doesn't have to be drastic like that. It could just be a slowing down of the rate hikes or some type of bond purchasing or asset purchasing. So it already looks like they're slowing down the pace at which they're going to raise interest rates. I said that was going to happen within 90 days. That was end of September. So here we are. He was going to get pressured to do this. And we called it correctly then. And so if you're joining us on YouTube, if you're watching this on the recording, on the top right, you're going to see an exclamation point. Hit that. There's going to be some links to where we called this back in the end of September. So I'll put some links up there so that you can track what we said then. But already so the markets went up. So here's the important thing. What did we do position wise? Okay, we entered some puts. Remember I said, hey, if it hits that, we get into some puts. So I am not going to steer you guys wrong. I do what I say. I'm a man of my word. So I'm showing you my positions right now. I did enter the 403.383 put position for December 30th, the quarterly expirations for SPY. All right. Look at that. The market's coming back down. So it did pop over it this morning. Just like everybody else. I don't know if any of you followed the puts, but I know some of you all in the Discord bought some puts before Powell spoke. So again, patience. I always preach patience, guys. For me, I entered at the end of day. Between that 4 and 4:15 window. And when SPY options are still being traded. So I got in at around 494 or something like that. I'm a bit underwater. I think right now I'm less than 4% underwater. Am I? Yeah, I'm less than 4% underwater. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to hold this for a few days and see what happens. If, let's say, by tomorrow or Monday, the markets don't turn, I'll just get out at a small loss, okay? So I do have this position. This position, I'm using this more as a hedge for some of my other positions. As you guys know, I'm in quad U, and I'm trying to acquire more of the metals and energy names that we've been talking about in our thesis in the last 2 weeks. So I'm using this as more of a hedge. I also do have a longer term portfolio, so I guess it kind of hedges that too. But right now I only have an entry position. I did plan on adding more to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be adding more to it now, but right now I do have an entry position into this. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, let's see what happens. I also told you guys that I would be entering into. By the way, let's go back to the SPY position. So the SPY, this position, this is something that we've been planning for since September 21st. Okay, back in September 21st, we set these levels. Okay, and this line is just a downtrend line, but also too around this level, this is where we saw all that hedging activity happen. Remember? And I said around this zone right here, we're probably going to see hedging demand come back between this 4100 and 4100 4125 zone. All right. So back in September 21st, and again, I'm going to have the links right here, on the top right-hand corner. You should see that exclamation point. Go ahead and click that, and I'm going to put some links of where we called that back in September 21st. It took 2.5 months for us to get this. So again, just stressing the importance of patience. Okay. So if you had shorted all of this, you'd be underwater right now, and you probably wouldn't have enough capital to get into a short in a good position like this. All right, the patience allows us to get into the market with a much stronger hand. All right, so we can withstand some volatility. So I just wanted to stress that out: patience, and the discipline to act. Right here, when we entered puts, was it easy? Hell no, it wasn't. It wasn't easy. Psychologically, it wasn't easy to enter there. But usually the best trades are like that. Psychologically, they're very, very hard to enter. All right. Which brings me to my next point. The next position that I just entered this today. Okay. And I sent you guys alerts out in the Discord to everybody. All right. I entered the UUP put positions. Call position for a bullish move, UUP. This is based on the dollar. UUP is a ETF that tracks the dollar index. Now, remember, guys, I told you if it hits this level, okay, that I was going to start buying some calls, all right? So it's undershooting it just a little bit, all right? But I am pretty confident about this level. I think within the next couple of days, the dollar will come back up. Now, whether it makes a higher high, that part, I don't know, okay? But I'm going to get out way before then, all right? I'm planning on getting out when the US dollar gets to maybe around the 110, 111 zone. And again, just to show you guys so that, for peace of mind, January 2024, I'm in those calls, okay? I'm in the 30 calls. This just happens to have the most open interest. There's about 23,000 contracts of open interest in it. And so I decided to go with that. Theta is reasonably low, so it shouldn't be too expensive to hold on to this for a couple of weeks, and we shall see. And again, I have an entry position into it. I'm saving a few bullets just in case if the dollar undercuts it just a little bit more. It just about 3 or 4% below that is the weekly 2 standard deviation Bollinger Band. That's where these red lines are. If you want, we can actually take a look at the Bollinger Band chart that I have here. DXY weekly chart. This one has all the Bollinger Bands already, drawn on. So yes, so there's the 2 standard deviation Bollinger Band, which is also another level. It corresponds to another weekly level. So I have some more bullets saved just in case if it undercuts and goes there within the next couple of weeks. Okay. So entry positions. All right. So I wanted to share that with you guys. So yes, I'm in now dollar long and SPY puts. Those are some of the positions. Oh, and I got, yesterday too, we got out of our UVXY puts just in time, actually. Those UVXY puts that we got into about 3 weeks ago, they paid out really well. Okay. We got in at 8 cents and we got out at 27. On the 80% of the position, and then the last 20% of the position we got out at 21. Not bad for 3 weeks. It was over 200% average return for the whole lot. So great, good for us. I know some of you guys are hedging for the market and looking to short the market by going long UVXY. I don't think that's a good idea. Okay, first off, there's a whole lot of contango. Right now, the front contract to the second month contract, that's over 11% right now. Contango's over 11% of this. So the decay in UVXY, this is going to still decay. So even if the market goes down, if the VIX doesn't really shoot up and the term structure doesn't switch, you're going to face decay. So even if it does pop, it's not going to pop as much. If you really want to, bet on volatility or short the market, you might as well just go with SPX or SPY puts or put spreads. Okay, they perform way better than UVXY calls or UVXY shares for that matter. UVXY, for me at least, I use it to short volatility, buying puts. Basically, when VVIX, okay, VVIX is the VIX of the VIX. If VVIX is 110 or 115 or lower, I'm willing to buy puts on UVXY, to play the decay. All right. If VVIX is higher, if VVIX is let's say much higher in the range, like 130, 140, I'm more inclined to sell calls on UVXY to short volatility. Okay, so the VVIX tells me which way do I go. Do I short calls or do I long puts? But generally, that's how I play UVXY. If I'm trying to bet on volatility and short the market, I'm using puts on the indices. Okay, that's just a general rule of thumb. Just the way the UVXY is structured, your edge in going long only works when there's backwardation in the VIX futures contract. Backwardation means that the front month contract is worth higher on the VIX futures than the second month. All right, and that just happens way less often than contango. And so because of the futures rolling aspect of this ETF, usually this ETF is decaying. Okay, let me show you a weekly chart. Look at that, it's decaying. Okay, over long periods of time, this thing decays. Okay, so going long on this really, even as a hedge on the overall market, is usually not a good thing. You're better off using SPY or SPX puts. Okay, you'll get way more out of it. So I hope that helps you guys. Okay, so that's that. Let's take a look at some of our other names. We're probably going to see a period of volatility coming up. I'm already seeing it. Look at this. The VIX is already acting crazy. SPY. Let's actually take a look live. I mean, that's one of the advantages of going live. We get to see everything in real time here. Our put position is doing a lot better now. Very good. Oh, we're in the profit actually now. Okay, look at that. How fortunes change so quickly, right? So again, patience and discipline. We went with patience and discipline. So some of our other names that we're getting involved with, like PLG, they were running. PLG is the platinum group metals that we wanted to get into. It has been going up. I still want to get in at 160, 161. I should have got in way higher than that. Remember how I got rid of that alert last time? That was really dumb. I should have just kept that alert and just bought into it then. But yes, if it pulls down to 161, I'm just buying right there. 160, 161, okay? That's platinum. And again, you can check out some of our links where we talk about our thesis on platinum and other metals. Quad U is still just chopping along in this box here. No clear direction. Let's take a look at Australian dollar if that's giving us any clues here. Australian dollar. Oh, hey. Man, I missed this. I didn't set an alert. Dang. I drew this way long time ago. And I said this is the line to short if it ever gets back there. Oh, man. I missed that. I should have set an alert there. I should have sold covered calls on my Quad U. And I should have shorted the Australian dollar. That would have been a great trade. Oh, well. You know, that's... What a shame. What a shame. I had this drawn and everything. It is what it is. Sometimes we miss things. This one, I could have avoided missing this. Okay, well, it is what it is. That would have been nice. But, okay, so we're back to our downtrend. It's acting very, very nicely to that level. It's going to drop. Let's see what happens, okay? Right now, this is a higher high, higher low situation on the daily chart even. Will it make a lower low? And will it continue this overall longer downtrend? That's the question now, okay? It's got an opportunity to maybe perhaps make a higher low, maybe in our make or break point from a few weeks ago at the 6736 level. If it makes that the higher low and goes back up, then I think there's a very good chance that it busts above this level, this downtrend level. If it makes a higher low on this level and then curls back up, that would mean that this could really go up. We'll see if that happens. I don't know if that's tradable as an event, because here's the thing. If it breaks this, it's going to shoot down. I mean, I think it's going to go down real quick. So managing risk on this is going to be very difficult. All right, it's going to be pretty difficult. You're just going to have to set a stop. And you know, the Australian dollar this year has been it has been overshooting levels for a couple of days. So it makes risk management very difficult, because you could potentially be facing a pretty big drawdown. And when you're using Forex or when you're using futures contracts, you're acting with leverage. So I don't know if I want to take that trade, a long trade here, but definitely the short trade on this big line, that was definitely, the R to R was definitely there, and we missed it. But am I going to go long here at the make or break? I don't know. I don't think so. Okay. Unless I see like an exhaustion signal or some sort of bottoming signal, then maybe I might go up and play, the breaking of this line. All right. And if that's the case, our metal names are just going to go way crazy. I mean, the Quad U and platinum, all of that, we'll probably, shoot to the upside. So if I see a bottoming signal too, maybe not take the Australian dollar trade. I might just go and just buy PLG at whatever price that happens when it pulls back. So even if it's over 161, I may just buy into this if we see that bottoming signal happen in the Australian dollar. All right. Speaking of which, if that happens too, all these Chinese stocks are going to go way up too. That would be a signal that Chinese stocks are on the up and up. So they have been reopening. Certain cities have been reopening, and some of the bigger cities with, Apple factories and other, tech factories, they're opening up as well too. So, that's a signal, that, the Australian dollar bottoming out would be a signal that those reports are true. I know it's very hard to believe anything that comes out of the media about China. There's so many conflicting things, but yes, the Australian dollar will show us the way. All right, and I would love to see a pullback. By the way, I would love to see a pullback back into 20 zone on ZTO to go long. that's part of our plan. FXI, China has been going on the up and up. A lot of money going into China right now. Lots of money since October. The Hang Seng, to get the Hang Seng, we're going to have to use TradingView. The Hang Seng, oops, has been doing incredibly well too. They're closed for the day already, so their daily chart, their daily candle's already finished. Yep, there you go. So it already made a higher high on the daily chart. So if it may have a pullback, it may not. It may just continue up, but who knows? But if it makes another lower high, I mean, that's pretty compelling already. That means you already have this higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. You're now seeing this a trend reversal on the daily chart. All right. On the weekly chart, though, of course, getting confirmation on the weekly chart is best. But on the weekly chart, yes, it made a lower low, and if it closes this week at this level or higher, it's a higher high. Okay, that's a higher high, higher low, higher high, and that would be a trend reversal signal on the weekly chart. That's pretty strong. All right, so we'll see if it happens or not. We still have what? Tomorrow, so who knows? We'll see what happens tomorrow. But this is an outside week up. That's a really bullish signal. All right. So then on the next pullback, that would give us more conviction on the ZTO trade. And again, the ZTO is that FedEx of China. They do a lot of trucking and stuff. So that's the thesis, the Chinese industrial thesis that we had again from 2 weeks ago. All right. Let's go through energies as well too. Since we're on trading, we might as well stay. Energies. Let's look at crude oil. Crude oil, I mean, just marching forward. I think, and again, guys, I think it's really based on that crack spread. We're seeing diesel shortages come up, and so I think a lot of the refineries are just buying up oil right here to make diesel. And as long as that crack spread is wide, the economics of buying that oil and turning it into these distillates is there. Okay, it's they're going to be buying this as much as possible. Now that means that probably around February, March, we'll probably see too much supply of diesel. Okay, generally this is how it works. There's a shortage, so then all these refineries go, mass into, producing this product, and then there's too much supply. So that usually there's like a 3-4 month lag when that happens. So I would suspect that when we get closer to January, February, if we get to this, like, I don't know, now I'm gonna bring down the levels here, but if we can get to, like, let's say around here, around 104 zone. Yeah, 103.5 to 104. I'd be willing to take a short there, okay, on crude oil. All right. Perhaps like 2 or 3 month out put spreads on crude futures, or you could use USO. All right. But yeah, if we get to there on January, February, I'd initiate a short right there, because I think then that's when we'll have an oversupply of distillates. So that's my thesis. Overall, in the medium term, and what I consider medium term is 3 to 5 years, I'm still overall bullish on crude oil. As you guys know, one of my biggest holdings is in Chevron. In my long-term portfolio. So I'm very bullish on crude overall, and I'm trying to still get into some crude names, BORR and GTE and things like that. So for the next 3 to 5 years, I'm still very bullish on energy. But I think in the short term, like, as a swing trade, for like a couple of weeks, I think once it gets up there, there's probably going to be again, oversupply of distillates, just because right now there's a shortage of diesel. I think refineries are now they're going to be pumping out diesel, and then it's at some point there's going to be an oversupply of it. Okay, again, that's about a 3 or 4 month lag when that happens. Okay, so if it gets to that level, January, February, we buy some puts right there. Okay, that's crude oil. Nat gas is marching higher. Man, you know, speaking of nat gas, that FLNG, the natural gas tanker, I mean, look at it go. It is not stopping. I mean, it never went to that level. It never even touched it at all, you know. We had other levels before we had it here right after earnings. Where was it? It was like in the $30. Yeah, right here. We said, oh, if it pulls back to around this $30 zone, we're going to buy. It never did. And when it dipped, it just didn't get there and just shot back up. It did a small pullback, but that's nothing. It's nothing, and it's just marching higher. So maybe we missed this. We'll see. I mean, we'll have to see a huge pullback on the market, I think, to see FLNG get to these levels. But if it happens, I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready to get long on this. All right. Very bullish on this. This is, I mean, again, it just goes with our energy thesis. You know, as countries rush to secure energy, shipping rates are going to go up. And speaking of shipping rates, let's just take a look at Baltic. What's going on with the Baltic? Yeah, look at that. The Baltic, it's already the Baltic dry. It looks like it's already trying to make a higher low on the daily chart. So on the daily chart, we might be seeing a trend reversal already starting in the Baltic Dry Index. Although I don't like to look at the daily chart, I like to look more at the weekly chart for Baltic Dry. The weeklies or the monthlies. But even on the weekly chart, it already looks like it's already making a higher low as well too. Okay, it looks like it's making a higher low already. So if it makes a higher high and comes back down, I mean, this thing is just going to fly, okay? This thing is just going to fly. We shall see, okay? I don't know. I really would like to get a crack at this level, though, okay? But it is what it is, you know? I can't control the markets, right? I can just be ready for when the markets act. Ooh, speaking of which, dollar. Somebody on our Discord just mentioned to me dollar's shooting up. Ah, look at that. Great. Hooray, hooray. It looks like I'm already in the profit on my UUP position. Hooray for me. All right. So everything's working out pretty good right now. Too bad I went only with the entry position, but it is what it is. Risk management is important. Looks like SPY's coming down. Oh, look at that. We're getting closer and closer to in the money. Oh, now we're about 14% ahead on the position. So there you go. Patience and discipline, baby. Patience and discipline. All right. And I gave it to you all live on Discord. And so, join the Discord. There's no paywalls. There's nothing for you guys there's nothing for you to lose. I do it for the education. I do it for you all. So there's that. Let's just go over crypto real quick. I know a lot of you guys are in crypto and trading that stuff. For crypto, we got to go back to handy dandy. So let's see here for crypto. I told you guys yesterday that, we've been seeing some altcoin outperformance. Usually that has led to strong performance in ETH and Bitcoin. Usually there's like a little bit of a lag, like a couple of weeks lag in that. Now, all of that, that could just be a sampling bias just because there's, such a small sample space. Crypto's really, really new. So just because it happened 2 or 3 times before doesn't mean it's a thing, it hasn't been around long enough to to really properly say, yes, that is a correlation. All right. The sample size is just too small. So, overall, if the market goes down, if it's risk off, I mean, all of this is coming down. So I think, in the end, you got to look at the big picture here, the macro picture. If the markets are in, everything's going risk off and the dollar's going up, then yeah, crypto's going to take a hit. So keep that in mind. Just because it happened 2 or 3 times before, and just because I pointed out, doesn't mean it's going to happen. Okay. So always keep that in mind. It's just what happened 2 or 3 times before. All right. But overall, Bitcoin and crypto, it is coming down. Honestly, though, I actually thought this was going to be a lot worse. When the whole FTX thing happened, I thought it was going to be way worse than this. But it's still kind of like just bouncing around in this. And now it looks like it's trying to form a box right now, which is interesting. Okay, I really thought it was going to just head down, but then it recaptured this level, which was our original buy point back in the summer. And then, it almost retested the uptrend line, and it's just pulling back from there. Okay, now which way is it going to go? Is it going to break and go down? Very possible. And if that's the case, I'll be ready when our ETH gold chart comes into play. And again, that's still far, far away. Ethereum is going to have to be around $900, E8, $900 in order to get to there, based on current gold prices. All right. Speaking of gold, if the dollar goes up, gold's going to go up. Gold's going to go down. So maybe we might get some good entries on some gold miners. Oh, look at that. Gold is way up today. Well, overall for the day, I think is the dollar is down. It just came up from our buy level, but I think for the day, yeah, it's pretty down for the day. So I see. Okay, so gold is up for the day. We'll see if the dollar does go up. I do think gold's going to pull back. If gold pulls back to this level again, it makes a higher low. I think it'll give us very good opportunities to get into some of the gold miners we were looking at. You know, like Baring Gold. Is that what's the name of it? The ticker symbol is GOLD. And in trading view, I think GOLD comes to something. Barrick Gold, that's what it is. Barrick Gold. All right. This is one of the names we wanted to get into, but you know, I might not even get to Barrick. I may just do just the GDX. You know, the ETF. To get, you know, rid of the individual company drama. You know, a lot of gold miners have individual company drama, you know, environmental lawsuits, lawsuits with other land claims, other miners. A lot of miners also partner with miners for certain projects, and they sue each other a lot. So it's a lot of like individual drama. So I may not want to, you know, be involved in all of that. But Barrick Gold is a mature gold miner. So usually they tend to be a little bit more shielded from that kind of stuff. Or I might go with GDXJ, you know, with some leap strategies. Okay. If it pulls back, if gold pulls back. So I'm looking for that. But mainly I want to be uranium and platinum. So, you know, mainly I really want to get into PLG. So PLG, I invite this to come back. Please come back down. 161. Oh my goodness. We are ready for this. Okay. Anything else you guys want to see? I see one of our members. Is it too, you know, Ari, my goodness. Oh my goodness. So I just, you know, so I, you know, so I already went over this mistake already, but you remember this line, this red trend line? You know, we talked about the Australian dollars like so many times, like back in the summer, and we drew this back, I don't know when, like, I think I drew this last year. Yeah, I drew this last year. This was our like downtrend level. And I said, oh, if it gets to this level, I'm going to sell covered calls on Quad U. And guess what? It hit. And I just never did it. I didn't set my alert. I forgot. I completely forgot. So like, you know, and now it's pulling back. I was going to also short the Australian dollar too and use that as a hedge for my overall Quad U position. It literally hit there. It's already coming back. I mean, this is a massive move, by the way. This is like a 0.5% move, which doesn't happen in a day usually for currencies. But this year, like 0.5%, 1% moves in currencies has been like the norm. So I was going to short the Australian dollar and then sell covered calls, but I never did. We should have done that right here, but I never set my alert. So there goes that. But I will say this. I mean, any day now, well, no, we should have sold the covered calls. No, I'm just justifying like. I'm just justifying the mistake of not setting my alert. Nope. I was going to say, like, you know, any day now, the Department of Energy is going to come out with that announcement for the strategic reserve. But that's just BS. That's, you know, we should have sold covered calls here. We should have. Okay. Why? The Australian dollar. Remember, our Australian dollar is the leading indicator for metals and for China, for everything. I mean, this was its downtrend. Look at this downtrend. I mean, how long does this go? Yeah, this one is one I drew back in 2021. Look at this. I mean, this is a very compelling downtrend, and we should have. But oh well, it is what it is. Okay. Yeah, it not being able to close above it was, you know, should have been a signal for us that metals were going to face some some type of pullback. Look at that. Yeah, the whole metal space is going back. XME, China's already closed, so I think this is happening after Chinese hours. So XME, I mean, all these names are, you know, probably going to go out down. And if the Australian dollar actually keeps going down and makes a new lower low, oof. I think you know what? I think if it loses this level, this 6735, and it makes that, so okay, so let's think about a future plan here. I think if it loses this level and then breaks down and makes a lower low and then it bounces from there, that is probably going to be a good point to place some collars on your metal names. Collars are selling covered calls and using that premium to buy some puts, okay? Because that could mean that we see a huge downtrend, and that could be because, you know, that could mean that the dollar is going back up, okay? That would tie in with the dollar thesis. You know, we don't know if this is a retest or if this is a breakdown, but if this were to be a retest and it continues this uptrend, that's gonna put a lot of pressure on metals and the Australian dollar. Okay, so if the dollar keeps going up like this, all right, the dollar keeps going up, that just means currency markets are expecting the Fed to have to be more hawkish, all right? So if the dollar just keeps going up, all right, and for some whatever reason, you know, dollar hoarding happens, you know, that's going to put a lot of pressure on metals and on Australian dollar. And I think if that's the case, you're going to want some of those collars on your metal names, okay? Again, callers selling covered calls using that premium to buy puts. And again, if I do that, I'll alert you guys what strikes and what I do on UUUU or on Quad U. It worked out great for us. Those collar trades, it didn't work that great last time. We just ended up like not making or losing anything on the last one. But the first time we did it back here, the first time we did it back in like early October, those paid out really well. Those gave us like, you know, around, I think it was around 30 to 40 cents per share, which came out to be about 5% or so. That gave us like a 5% yield. So the first time we did the collar, it worked out really well. The second one, it didn't. I did it way too early. And so I ended up having to roll it, and it ended up just breaking even. And, you know, we'll see if we can see like a good rebound and we see like, you know, the Australian dollar not making that higher high, then yeah, I think a collar trade would be worth it then. Hope that answers your question. All right. Anything else you guys want to look at? Somebody from one of our social media is asking about silver. Silver, yes. Oh, silver is one of the names that I'm looking at as well too. Silver, definitely. Silver miners, you know, it's just when it comes to the miners, gold miners just tend to be the most liquid. Okay, so the levels work out the best. So if you're going to make decisions, you know, based on the overall mining landscape, it's best to use GDX. All right. So yeah, my decisions on, you know, the levels at which I want to enter miner trades, it's based on the GDX levels. But you know, definitely, I'm looking at some of the silver miners as well too. This is a silver mining ETF. I think SILJ is the junior silver miners. But yeah, if we see a pullback, a meaningful pullback, and Australian dollar again holds that kind of higher low, remember, okay, I'm also basing this off the Australian dollar. So if it can pull back and if it can make that higher low right here and it curls back up, then yeah, I'd be very, very willing to take on a few miners. Between the two, silver or gold, I would say silver is riskier. If you're right, you're gonna make more with silver, but if you're wrong, you're also gonna lose more. So it's more of like you can call it leveraged gold if you want. I guess that's a wrong way to put it, but it just has it's a lot more volatile than gold is. So I may just go with the junior silver miners. And also it depends because I'm doing also leaps as well too. You got to understand like some of these like junior mining ETFs, they're just the options are not as liquid. So, you know, if the spreads are like ridiculous like this, yeah, like SLILJ, there's a reason why I go over like GDX, you know, so much. It's because the options market on these kind of smaller ETFs, it just is not there. Even GDXJ, I mean, GDXJ is, I believe, is the second most liquid, the mining ETF. But even then, it's still not great. You know, it's still not great. And if I can get spreads that are tight enough, actually, the January 2024 GDXJ is not bad. So I may have to just go with that. For me, you know, I'm using leaps for this. You know, I'm trying to get a leveraged bet on this. It's more of a risk, but, you know, I'm ready to take that risk. SIL, actually, SIL is not bad. So maybe I go with SIL. Okay, it just depends on what the options market looks like on, you know, when those levels get hit as well too. So that goes into my decision making, you know, matrix. Anything else you guys want to look at? All right, then. In that case, if there's no other questions, comments, or rude remarks, we'll call that a day. So that wraps up our session of the Morning Market Memo. Our Discord invitation is in the link description below. Come join our Discord. Be part of a growing community. There's no sub fees, no paywalls. It's of the people, by the people, for the people. And if you enjoyed our video, hit like, follow, subscribe, comment. Show us some love, baby. All right, I'll be back on next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 30 minutes after the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you guys then. Have a great day.